G'day, this is Scotty Tucker. Hopefully you're enjoying this series, learning how to manage your dams and your ponds. This one's a little bit different. What we're talking about today is one of our wastewater clients who's basically got a pond, as you can see behind me, and that's full of about 30-year-old bin juice. This is an old tip or an old landfill, and what happens with these sorts of sites is that the rubbish slowly breaks down over time and it leaches out gases and water. So basically, yeah, 30-year-old bin juice is what's behind us. Now, how we got involved here is that one of the consultants, environmental consultants that helps the council run this facility, contacted us with a bit of a problem that they were having with ammonia levels in this pond. They have to meet certain criteria, and unfortunately the ammonia was sky high at the time. So aeration is one of the proven sort of methods to help break down ammonia through a process called the nitrogen cycle. And they contacted us and engaged us to recommend aeration systems for this one. Now, some of the challenges with this was that they didn't have much of a power supply available. They didn't have good, easy access in terms of large aeration systems. So they were looking for a relatively low power consuming, easily accessible aeration solution. And so for this we used the Aerolator Aquarian commercial units, 4 of them. There's 4 3 horsepower units running in the pond behind me. So the advantages with these units and running 4 of them is that you didn't need any crane equipment to get in here. You don't need any cranes to lift these things in and out. So that in itself saves a hell of a lot of dough in terms of the installation and ongoing maintenance. And also with the power requirements being limited, they don't have much available here at the end of the line where the power supply is. So by having the 4 units in here, what it enables us to do, we've got them controlled so that if needs be, if the ammonia levels are right, if the conditions are viable, they can shut some of these units down. That saves on power consumption. It also helps improve the longevity of the motors, because it means that you're cycling through and you maybe not running the motors the whole 24/7. And more importantly, when you do need that extra oomph for the full-blown power consumption, you're able to do so and aerate the water quite well. These types of aerators are really good for mixing as well. So it's not just about getting oxygen in the water when it comes to breaking down BOD and ammonia in wastewater. Mixing is equally important, because it's one thing to have an aerator to put a hell of a lot of oxygen in the water, but if the water's not mixed around, then that oxygen doesn't actually contact the bugs and that you want growing and the nasty stuff that you don't want growing, then it somewhat defeats the purpose. Or you then need to have big, massive, monstrous aerators in multiple locations anyway. So these smaller units are a much better option for something of this with this sort of capability or capacity. And the other thing that we did with this when we first started, we found that the aeration got the ammonia down quite well and quite quickly, but it was still sort of on that upper limit and hovering around the sort of, ooh, is it going to be okay, is it not going to be okay sort of level. And in this sort of environment, you just never know what's going to come in from one given moment to the next, because like I said, it's 30-year-old bin juice and who knows what's going to come leaching in at any time. So what we did is we do a lot of work with biological water treatments, and we introduced a very high population, high concentration of nitrifying bacteria, one of our biological products, and we just stimulated that nitrifying process really, really well, brought the ammonia down very, very quickly. And since then we've used it a couple of times, but really we don't really need to rely on it that much any longer, because we've got the bugs working happily, the oxygen's happy, the nutrient load's happy, everything's sort of ticking along quite nicely. But it's also good to know that we've got those tools to fall back on should we need to. So that's a little bit of a case study. You might be able to see the city of Melbourne behind me. I can't see because I'm getting blinded by the sun at the moment. But it's a nice spot, other than standing here smelling 30-year-old bin juice. But anyway, it is what it is. It's not all lovely little trout dams and silver perch dams and all the rest of it, there's also a nasty side to water, which is 30-year-old bin juice. So it's good to show you guys some of the other applications that we work with. So hopefully that's given you a better idea of what you can do with wastewater, giving you some ideas if you are running a wastewater treatment plant and you're having that's coming to the time where you need to start replacing or starting with aeration. This will give you an idea of some of the sort of easier tools, I guess, to work with. So if you like that and you want to learn more and keep an eye on us and see what we can help you with in terms of aerating your dams and your ponds and keeping these things nice and healthy, click on the links below, send us an email, give us a call, do whatever you want to do to keep in touch, and we'll try and help you out as we go along. I'm Scotty Tucker, thanks for watching.